Today on DNVR Buffs Live, there's a new transfer portal, and I'm hoping that Jake understands it. And also, who is Colorado's new #1 recruiting target? We take our stab at who that may be. Let's get it.
Bow Nation.
Let's go.
Squad. Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your front range Toyota stores. It's DNVR Buffs Live. Today on the show, we're really going to talk recruiting. Mm-hmm. Are you guys ready?
We're ready.
You ready, bro?
Let's get it, brother.
We'll do that. Pac-Man Jones spoke about Coach Prime's health. Positive update, by the way. Best and worst case scenarios for every Big 12 team in 2025. New transfer portal, among many other things. How are we doing today?
I'm fine.
It's kind of hot outside.
It is.
It's very
hot
hot.
inside. I don't care if it's hot outside.
Yeah, I agree. It's just hot,
Yeah.
period. But it's summer. It's a game. It's a football game next month. I'm still feeling pretty good about that. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, me too. Who wants to start it? Obviously, Cederian Morgan commits to Alabama.
Look, if you want to enter the ring with the big boys, you're going to lose. Sometimes you'll win. Probably most times you'll lose until you establish yourself on that plane. But this is, the #1 wide receiver in the country. If you're upset that you didn't get him, you can be bummed. But this is not, in my opinion, some sort of referendum on the way that the coaching staff is recruiting. The fact that Colorado's even getting into these conversations and into these finalists is a huge win. I can't remember who it was, but one of the big national recruiting guys in the very early days of the Coach Prime era said, it's a numbers game for Colorado. If you get into enough of these conversations, you're going to start winning them. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to win them all, but you are going to win a few of them. As long as Colorado keeps doing that, which they have done every year under Coach Prime, Jordan Seaton, Cormani McClain, you could even go Chauncey Gooden, Juju Lewis, of course. As long as you continue to do that, your team's only going to keep getting better and better. And by the way, it's not goodbye. See you later for Cederian Morgan.
Totally.
Well said, bro. This is not over with. I don't think his recruitment is over with. I mean, I don't think anybody is surprised that the #1 receiver in the state of Alabama, a top 5 recruit in the state of Alabama, went to Alabama. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody should be really shocked by that, especially when we talked about it last week or the week before when they brought out the big guns. They brought out Nick Saban to make sure that they locked down Cederian Morgan to make sure that he was a Crimson Tide. So obviously he was a high priority for Alabama, the rest of the teams in his top 6, Colorado included. And I think, I forget who said it, we kind of joked about it when somebody said Alabama was recruiting like a program right now.
That was J.D. Pickell. But they have the most 5 stars in any class so far this
10
cycle.
recruits in the last 11 days have committed.
Yeah, they're the only program.
4 or 5 stars they already got.
And I think they're the only program with multiple 5 stars right now.
I think you're right. And
how are they doing this?
It's a good question.
I mean, honestly, they're just Alabama.
I know,
Right.
but at what point does that wear off? Because Alabama's been down before.
When the money dries up, and I don't think that's happening.
I think it happens if Kalen DeBoer proves not to be anything close to Nick Saban, which I know he's got his doubters.
Well on our way.
I mean, I guess so, but yeah, Saban's still there. There's still obviously some continuity.
Nick Saban would have never missed a 12-team playoff.
I have to agree.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir here. I'm all about the Alabama downfall, but it's not happening anytime
It's not yet,
soon.
but I'm just surprised that like of all the teams right now, they're the ones who are like the team. Like it felt like what a perfect time for someone new to come in who's been having success year over year. I mean, even Georgia. How could Georgia explain getting out recruited by Alabama right now?
Yeah.
There's no explanation.
Yeah. So that's why I'm just surprised and I'm honestly impressed with what that staff is doing over there to, I guess, do their best to make sure that they don't have, a fall off from what Nick Saban was doing.
And Cederian has said that his favorite receiver ever, the guy that he models his game after, is Julio Jones. One of the greatest Alabama receivers ever, one of the best Crimson Tide receivers ever. And I think the fact that the position Cederian Morgan plays, it obviously would have been great to get him. We've talked about him as a potentially like class-defining commit potentially. But I think the fact that he plays receiver should soften some of the blow because this program has had no issue recruiting that position, whether it be from the high school ranks, whether it be from the transfer portal. Some people even like to say that we got too many damn receivers.
I was going to say 2 weeks ago it was, do we really need another wide receiver?
Exactly. So some people will say that the team has too many wide receivers already and they don't need to add anymore after adding 2 in the 2025 recruiting class and a handful from the transfer portal this year with multiple years of eligibility left. So I think people need to remember that and remember that he plays a position that would honestly be a luxury if they added it, in the 2026 class or even beyond. So I think all that should be kept in mind, and it also should be kept in mind what you said at the end of your soliloquy. It's not goodbye. It's potentially see you later, my guy.
Yep.
Also, look, man, there's a lot of people who are, screaming that the sky is falling right now. Maybe not a lot. There's a very vocal minority at least then,
there
right?
You go.
First time being here? Were you not here the last 2 winters, the last 2 summers? We've literally done this. This is the 3rd time in a row now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say anymore. Like how it just look back at the last 3 years. Summer recruiting, like CU takes their shots. Like they put up threes, right?
Right. I mean, I
It's
think
not a guaranteed thing though. And then you come back around, game visits, you have the end of the season recruiting, like then you have flip target. It's happened the last 2 years.
Yeah. I think it's illogical to expect fans to be logical. And that's the blessing and the curse of it all. But like I think that there's a lot of fans who just thought like, okay, year 3, like this is the time where we're just going to start racking up 5 stars. And I don't blame anyone for like having that hope because that's part of the fun of being a sports fan is hoping that your team's going to turn it. But I think it is fair to put it into perspective for people. And you're right. Point out that Colorado does their best recruiting work and most recruiting work during the season. And we're still 1 month plus away from that.
This time last year, they had 4 commits in the 2025 class.
Yep.
Oh,
right
so
now
we're ahead of schedule.
Right now, they have 5 commits in the 2026
crazy.
class.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not the sky is falling. It's not time to be worried.
The game is not over. It's not in the 4th quarter. It's not even in the second half.
No, it's not. It's the second quarter.
Yeah, it's literally.
That's the other thing about this is we've said how much this offseason. If you prove you can run the ball and you go win football games, guys are going to be interested. Players are going to be interested.
And that's not something we just said for the fun of it. That's something that
course.
recruits have told us out of their mouth.
Literally.
So
Also, and not to go too into this, but it's like again, 3 straight years now. One of the best portal classes in the country. Like, yes, they wanted Cederian, but they only bring in 10 to 15 at most.
Right.
Maybe they get up to 20 at some point a year. It's just the way this program has been ran the last 2 years and the way it's going to continue being ran, seemingly so with Coach Prime, obviously, leading the way. They're going to dip into the portal. And that's when you get a bunch of these guys. Like, I mean, shoot, when we go into this next offseason, these are guys that they recruited the first time around.
Facts.
3 years ago.
that they've already
basically.
built the relationship with.
There's relationships laid. Like, so we just got to, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Like, if even in the video game, if you only target 5-star recruits, like, you're going to miss out on a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Everyone in the country wants the 5-star recruits. You just got to hope that your message clicks with a couple of them. And I think the message is clearly clicking. I think it's hard. It's always going to be hard to beat out Alabama,
Right.
especially for a kid from Alabama. And so, just got to keep plugging away, keep going at it. And if your quote unquote backup plan is a 4-star, that's not the end of the world either.
I mean, that's the other thing too, is we were told from the get-go, like Cederian is really close to his family. Like he kind of wants to stay home. Like
Right.
the first day that he was like brought into the picture here at Colorado, those were the things we were bringing up. Like we knew this would be a tough one. So, but it's not over. Remember, this is the guy who came on an official visit, obviously. Not only that, comes on a secret visit, clearly has some established relationship with Julian Lewis, the future of the program. Like it's not over.
Place the odds on Cederian Morgan being on campus on a Saturday this fall.
Minus 1,000.
So you think it's damn near a lock?
Minus 110.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would add too, nobody knew that Cardi Smith was a target for Colorado around this time last year. Nobody knew that who Quentin Gibson was.
True.
Around this time last year. You could say the same, I would say, for Alexander McPherson and London Merritt. Like, things take time to materialize, and making drastic, I think, judgments on July 2nd about the recruiting class for next year is just a bit much. But it's the summer. It's all we got to do, I guess.
Do you guys know how many official visits we had around this time last year?
Oh, man.
Nah, I don't.
I mean, last year we definitely didn't have as many weekends as we did this year. I mean, we had maybe 2 or 3, and there was obviously the big Juju one. That was 7 players on campus then. That was by far the biggest one. It never got past 7, so 20 at max.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's true. Someone in the comments said 37 this time.
Okay.
But at this time last year, you had 4.
Right.
This time this year, you have 5 commits. So even if the percentage is going down, the hits are going up, which is the way it should go.
And we're not done with summer recruiting either. Like, there's still kids who are going to announce and, already have commitments scheduled and stuff like that.
Target
too.
we're waiting on as soon as this weekend, next
Yes.
weekend. So.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. That's really all there is to be said, honestly. So we'll wait until games start and see who shows up on campus. Let's take our first break, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Coach Prime and Big 12 things. Can you help me?
Empire Today.
Shout out to our homies over at Empire Today. One-stop shop for all your flooring needs. They are 5-star when it comes to flooring.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go to those big box stores who, say they're 5-star at everything, right? They're going to fix, your chimney, your gutter, your roof, and your floor all at the same time. No, don't do that. Just go to the experts over at Empire Today. They know exactly what they're doing, whether it's hardwood, tile, carpet, all that other stuff. You can also use the virtual floor designer. Use the virtual floor designer to see the new look of everything in your home from the comfort of your own home. And you can also schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. You can get a $350 discount when you use the promo code DNVR. Again, DNVR listeners get a $350 discount with code DNVR. Some restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/DNVR for full details.
Also, shout out to our friends over at First Bank. Whether on the road, at home, or somewhere in between, First Bank makes banking easy, convenient, and secure. Their mobile banking app allows you to check balances, pay friends, and manage your money anywhere, anytime. And the best part, open a new First Bank checking account today, and you could earn $300. First Bank is all about helping you stay on track. So if you're ready for better banking and the chance to earn a little extra, head to efirstbank.com/bonus. That's the letter E, firstbank.com/bonus. to open your account, bank how you want, when you want with First Bank. Certain restrictions and requirements apply. Member FDIC.
All right, so in a video, I think posted today, Pac-Man Jones shared an update on Coach Prime. Of course, the last time we really heard anything was about when Asante Samuel had him on that podcast they did or whatever. It was a month ago. Anyways, Pac-Man was doing some promo thing, and apparently this is what he was talking about in the video. I don't know exactly what happened, but he said Deion's doing good. I think he's got another week at home before they get started. He'll be there. He'll be ready to go. Dion is doing good. And thanks to everybody that has been praying and sending good thoughts and good prayers his way. Again, he's good. So there you go.
Great to hear.
That's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
And he is, scheduled to speak at Big 12 Media Days, or at least believed to be speaking at Big 12 Media Day next week.
And he's on the roster at least.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Do we want the new transfer portal stuff or the best worst case scenario for every Big 12 team?
Let's go with the portal.
Let's do it.
Okay. So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things changing, and it's very hard to keep track of sometimes. So this has to do with, I guess, roster limits. Ross Dellinger had a tweet earlier today. There's a new one-time transfer portal window. NCAA Committee on Legislative Relief has issued a waiver to permit athletes whose schools place on designated student athlete lists to enter the portal July 7th through August 5th. Designated student athletes are grandfathered in athletes exempt from roster limits. Now, I first read that, and it took me like 5 more times of reading it to even understand what he's talking about here. Because I thought the way it was advertised too by some people was new transfer portal,
right.
This is the new window type of thing, and it's this.
It's like an additional window.
Yes.
Not when they say new window, they mean a new one that's being added to the existing.
Yes. So I asked ChatGPT to break this down for me, to explain it to me like I'm 5.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay! Exclamation point. Imagine your school has a sports team, and there are rules about how many kids can be on that team, like only 10 players allowed. But some kids are, and in italics, special cases. They were on the team before a new rule came, so they don't count in the limit. These kids are called DSAs, designated student athletes. They're kind of, quote, grandfathered in, which means they get to stay without affecting the team's size limit. Now, normally kids can only switch schools and teams during certain times of the year, kind of like how you can change seats in class when the teacher says it's okay. But the NCAA, the big boss of college sports, just made a special rule. If you're one of those DSAs, you get a special extra chance to change schools and teams. You can do it from July 7th to August 5, even though that time isn't usually allowed. So in simple terms, some older players don't count in the new team size limits, and those players get a special one-time chance this summer to switch teams.
So are these walk-on type-ish players, or
It's just, I think, whoever doesn't make the roster cut, honestly.
but they had to have been older guys too, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, yes, it's probably a lot of walk-ons. It's essentially the top 85 on your roster, which you only get 85 scholarships every year. But in Colorado's case, they save some so they can roll over. So you might have more than 85. So it's basically, just anything below the 85 cut, you can. You're now a DSA, I guess.
When he was explaining it to us like we're 5, I got the idea of walk-ons as well.
Yeah.
Where it's now you can't really have walk-ons, but these guys, deserve a chance to play football because they came in to be, to do it a certain way. So I think you can place a tag on these guys to keep them around, and then they don't apply to your total. Or they can.
I thought if you apply this tag, that means they're leaving.
See, that's the thing that confused me was the tag itself. Do the schools put this? Is it?
I think Colorado would put that tag on one of their own players, and now they're free to enter the portal and go somewhere else
and
for a
not
different
count towards
opportunity.
someone else's.
Exactly.
So then theoretically, it's kind of just a way to make cuts. Then basically,
That's kind of what it sounds like to me.
A way to cut players who wouldn't have otherwise been on the roster before the roster limits.
But they were already there.
But
So
or if the roster limits existed. Okay.
yeah.
Weird. I feel like it's not going to affect wins and losses very much.
I don't think so either.
But I was thinking about it when I was talking to Jake before the show. I was like, would Juju Mitchell have been an example of this? Where he was on Arizona State, got kicked off the team during fall camp, transfers to Colorado, and
he had to wait.
Played.
Oh,
and he
immediately.
Yeah, and so I'm like, is there a chance that maybe during fall camp you have a guy that you don't want around anymore, so you put him in there? But now since there's roster limits, it'd be a lot harder for them to go somewhere else.
Right. Yeah.
but because if you put this tag on them, then they could go somewhere else.
It's also a weird window too. I'm assuming this might kick in honestly later this week, because on the 1st yesterday, that's when revenue sharing payments just started. So basically, we are now officially in the revenue sharing era. Someone had a tweet. I can't remember if it was Pete Nakos or who it was, but it was one of those types of college football big time reporters said like some schools have paid up to as much as 90% of their revenue sharing for the year already on yesterday, one day.
Tripping.
Wow, so they just cut a check.
Some schools, yeah.
That's not good budgeting.
That's just what was tweeted out. Go ahead.
Dellinger says that the deadline to submit the DSA list is July 6th,
yes.
which is in a few days.
And so he's got another few things on this too, on the Twitter thread here. An athlete is eligible to be placed on the DSA list if he/she, one, would have been removed from the school's 25-26 roster due to the new roster limits, 2, was an eligible member of a 24-25 team, 3, was recruited and assured by a school of a 25-26 roster spot.
So that sounds like everyone.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's totally just top 85 basically.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like the cut day in the NFL to get to 53 in a way.
Yeah.
So interesting. There was I don't know if you saw this, Jake, but there was a Big 12 cornerback that entered the portal today. I don't know if that's related at all to this new designated student athlete kind of list, but Kansas cornerback Demarius McGee entered the portal today. Former top 90 overall recruit.
Wow.
Began his career at LSU. Played a little bit there at LSU. I think he started like a couple games, played a bunch of games as a freshman at LSU before transferring to Kansas, where he was obviously behind a really good cornerback duo last year at Kansas with Melo Dotson and Kobe Bryant. So yeah, he was with LSU for 2 seasons. He played in 12 games as a freshman in 2021 at LSU. Started one of them. And then, played a little bit at LSU the next year before transferring to Kansas. And now he's in the portal. So at corner, it'll be interesting.
As someone pointed out in the comments, too, this is a one-time thing. So it's only happening this year. The roster cut down transfer rule.
This is what I'm talking about. It's such a mess, bro.
But I think it's just because there's like, okay, you change the rules. Like, now what are we supposed to do? We've got all these guys that we told we were going to be around.
Right, yeah.
And now we have to kick them off.
But, like, I thought this was already decided, like, 2 months ago. Like, Camden Dempsey, I thought that case got approved, that he went to, I don't even know where he went to it with. But, like, he was petitioning, basically, to allow
walk-ons to
current walk-ons to be, like, grandfathered in.
Right.
Yes.
So that they can stay throughout their eligibility. And they just don't have to worry about it. That's what I thought happened, but now this comes up, so it makes no sense.
Who knows? Maybe this isn't applied to walk-ons. It's more probably to scholarship players.
I mean, that could be the case, too, because someone brought it up, and it is also true. I don't know what the number is, but Nebraska literally has, like, 110, 120. Like, they have so many players right now. So.
And they're going to have to be making cuts.
Of course they are. Of course.
A month before the season.
I mean,
scary.
If with that many kids, though, it's not like everyone's getting even scout team reps at that point, though.
Yeah, it's true.
100+ players on a team? Are you serious?
Yeah. They probably got a whole extra field. Remember you guys ever have in middle school the 5th quarter?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
When I was in middle school, there was like an extra quarter, sometimes before, sometimes after the game, where all the scrubs who didn't get to play in the game got to go play.
That little participation, little trophy. That's
so
crazy.
they might have a 5th quarter field at Nebraska's practices.
Did you have you have to play so many plays in a game rule type of thing?
I don't think so.
Because we definitely did growing up. You had to play in 6 plays a half. Every player had to play. So
these coaches, man, they're just like, how the hell am I going to hide this kid for 6 plays?
So every day we'd have, or not every day, every week. I mean, we were 10 years old and this is going on. Once a week, the coaches would be like, this is their 6-play player. And like, we'd like scheme against it.
Oh, like you see 43 out
exactly,
there.
Yeah.
throw the fade over his head.
Yeah, totally.
Damn, that's
coaching right there.
savage.
Yeah.
Also, just really messes up the competitive balance.
Yeah. Well, and that's the awkward thing is like they're talking about this. Meanwhile, we definitely have 6 play players on our team. Like,
I'm not going to name. I'm not going to give too many details in this story because I don't want it to get back to the person. But I was on a sports team once. And in that team, there was also like an inclusion rule. And this part is true. I accidentally ran into them and hurt them pretty bad.
mm-hmm.
So then they couldn't play. And one of my friends came up to me and was like,
Damn, bro.
Secret props, dude.
Why? Because they didn't want that person to play
They
anymore.
were really bad.
Bro, Dick's a goal for the team. Let me find accidentally,
No,
bro.
it really
sure,
was, bro.
sure.
I hurt myself pretty bad too, but not bad enough to come out of the game.
That's insane.
We literally just collided when neither of us were looking.
That's wild.
Damn. That just reminds, I haven't taken a decent hit in a minute, man. I don't know if I could take one anymore.
We should set something up, bro.
No, let's not.
Facts. Let's set
Have
something up.
RC throw some hospital balls.
But like that used to that stuff used to happen all the time when you were a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
And like to think of like how you would just bounce back like the next day,
Oh,
like
yeah.
not even really feel it. Like
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
you got like a bruise or something, but you're like fine.
yeah. To be young.
Today, one of the people at work here was talking about how they injured themselves lifting, and I was just like,
Sucks.
"Dang, I got to be careful. Like, I can't be messing with my golf.
Yeah, be careful, dude.
Just doing normal shit."
I mean, even one swing, you're just
For real.
trying for an extra
I know.
10 yards or whatever. It's
I know, like I'm moving. I'm like, I gotta lift from the legs, baby.
Got to.
just higher movers, bro. It's so much.
Oh well, yeah, I'm doing that, but still, you gotta like, fill up boxes, move them around your house.
True. We got a few more minutes before the next break. This is another potential change. I don't know if you guys saw this, but LSU is planning to sell jersey patch advertisements pending NCAA approval this year. We've obviously
Smart.
talked
Hate
quite a
this.
bit about this. I mean, even when Coach Prime first got here 3 years ago, this was like brought up because that's just where CU was. They needed money, right? But if LSU obviously does that, I mean, floodgates because it's a blue, maybe. I'm not gonna say blue.
Fringe blue blood,
Fringe
arguable
blue
blue
blood.
blood.
Arguable blue blood. Arguable.
But it's an SEC program, top 25 team. Like this, LSU does it. It's just a matter of time.
Shit, the way Alabama recruiting right now, yeah, LSU like, yeah, we need all the
We
bread
need
we
some
can get
more
right now.
money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's smart to me. I mean, at this stage of college football with NIL and everything that's headed,
I just hate
you
that
need avenues like this.
nothing is sacred anymore.
Nope.
And like college, of all the things that are sacred to me, college football uniforms might be at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And just money ruins everything.
Yep. I remember hating it when they did it with the NBA too. When they started adding like the,
It's nasty.
it definitely, I hated it for the
They
the
put them
NBA,
on the
but-
helmets in hockey.
Do they?
Yes.
Wow.
It's awful.
Yep. It's a new world we live in.
It's just I hate it so much. Like we enforce all these dumb rules with the dress code. We can't just make a rule like, no, you can't put some dumbass logo on your uniform. Or if you do, it has to be in the colors of your school. Those are the ones that really get me.
See, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like the Lakers, I don't know even what the brand is, but like it like actually matches their jersey. Like
Yeah,
it
it's like
doesn't like
purple or whatever.
pop
Yeah.
out. Like if it's done that way, totally fine with it. But when you start putting like legit advertisements with like their big old logo and it's like your team is red and it's like a green logo,
Yes,
like
dude.
it looks terrible.
Or even like when they put the red Empower logo on Mile High.
Yes,
I'm
I
like,
agree.
what are we doing here? Like that's a Chiefs color.
Facts. All right, let's take our next break and then we'll kind of wrap it up.
Shout out to the squad, our good friends over at FanStake, y'all. Today's episode is brought to you by FanStake, a new platform where fans can pledge direct support to athletes to help their favorite teams recruit and retain top players. Here's the best part, y'all. It is literally risk-free. No strings attached. You ain't even got to put in a credit card number or anything like that. Fans can place stakes for a specific athlete to join or stay at their school. And even if that athlete decides to go elsewhere, because that does happen nowadays, the fans, you guys get your money back. And if the player does go to the school of your choice. They're eligible to sign an NIL deal with FanStake and receive their pool of stake money. This is quite literally the simplest way to provide direct support for the team's young core because, y'all are we're going to want to keep some of these players around for as long as possible. Make sure that they don't transfer. Colorado is currently the 5th most popular fan base on FanStake. So let's get those numbers up. FanStake is currently offering new fans a free $25 credit. Again, like I said earlier, no credit card required, no strings attached. And I'm encouraging everyone to join us in staking for Quanell X Farrakhan Jr. and Quentin Gibson.
Oof.
The true freshman receivers on the Colorado football team. Click the link in our description, scan the QR code, or just head over to fanstake.com and use promo code DNVR. Shout out to FanStake.
Quanell X Farrakhan, the highest rated true freshman not named Julian Lewis on EA 26 for the Buffs.
Wow.
Fire.
What was Juju? Like 79?
79, yeah. Shout out to the homies over at Curse Light. Oh boy, this is
Number one Curse Light weekend.
I was gonna say, if there's ever been a Curse Light weekend before, it's happening on the 4th of July, and we got a Friday 4th of July this year.
Love
I mean,
it.
It's just time to hang out and crush some Curse, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm going to a country concert.
Nice. There will definitely be Curse Light flowing there.
Did I tell you about the shirt that I'm wearing?
No, I'm
It's
with
like-
Ryan.
It's all in it's all in like patriotic theme, and it says red, white, and Curse Light.
Red, white, and Curse.
Beautiful.
That's fire.
There you go. If you're feeling patriotic and you maybe just need to chill a bit, hit up our friends over at Curse Light. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light, get it delivered straight to your door by visiting CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer. Okay.
Beer.
Might cut the sleeves off.
Oh, definitely, dude.
Why does that shirt even have sleeves, bro?
Honestly,
Do you have jorts?
should have been removable sleeves. Just Velcro them off.
Do you have jorts?
No, I didn't get. I saw some actually. I got Instagram targeted. They knew I was building a fit. But no, I don't own jorts.
Cowboy boots?
Yeah, cowboy
Nice.
hat.
Nice.
All right.
Kind of just get into character,
It's only
And then you
right.
drink 17 Curse Lights.
Are you cosplaying as Curse Man this weekend? Is that what's going on?
Kinda, yeah.
I was going to say, do you have a drug alter ego?
No, I don't. I don't feel like I change enough. Just become a goofier version of myself.
I feel like that's valid.
All right, CBS wrote up this list. Every Big 12 team's worst and best case scenario in 2025. Do we want to go straight to it? This list is in alphabetical order. We can go down there in the order it is, or we can go straight to Colorado and then talk about the others.
I think Colorado's high enough there in alphabetical order.
We can wait a bit.
So, yeah, let's.
Okay.
Was there like 3rd or 4th in alphabetical?
How long are these things?
Not very long. He just gives like a record prediction, best case, worst case, a
Okay.
little bit of why.
Yeah.
So starting with Arizona, he says best case scenario 7-5. Obviously, it's Noah Fafita, right? Like that's the identity of the team at this point.
Yikes.
They did bring in some receivers and a running back. They got that Wysong kid from New Mexico.
Oh, yeah. I like him.
He's nice.
Yeah. So, but best case they got 7-5.
I think that's accurate, too, by the way.
I don't understand how a player could go there right now.
Me either.
No idea.
Anyways,
Worst case, only 2-10.
Also accurate.
They might have some powder puffs on the out of conference if that's the case. Then
they do. I mean, I guarantee you they have Northern Arizona.
Facts.
and they probably have the second half of that home and home with New Mexico.
Potentially.
Yeah, they got Hawaii, Weber State.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
No Northern Arizona.
Yeah, that's it. That's everything else is Big 12. So they must have one of the Big 12 games that's not really a Big 12 game.
Yeah,
huh?
Kansas State.
Are they going
Right.
to the island for week 1?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
It'll be aired live on TNT.
Oh,
That sounds so crazy.
Mountain West football, baby.
they're going to have Chuck in there breaking it down. Oh, no, they're gone now too, right?
They are, yeah.
Wait, they're doing that?
Well,
No.
no.
Oh, I was gonna say, no way we get.
Well,
Chuck
they're done with
talking.
TNT now.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
on ESPN now, but I don't
That's
think
what I
they
thought,
would do
okay.
that anyway.
I don't know. They have him breaking down March Madness. He hasn't watched a college basketball game all year.
Facts, bro. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with March Madness, bro. I'm like, gee, we really got to sit up here and act like Charles Barkley been watching. He don't even watch the NBA. I know he not watching college basketball.
Yeah.
Like, why do we got to stop this charade? Real quick, I got a question for y'all. Arizona, Oklahoma State, UCF. Which one of those three is most likely to be bowl eligible this year?
Oklahoma State,
Oklahoma
better coach
State,
by
yeah.
far.
Yep. And more recent success.
Yep.
Who would you
right.
choose?
I'm going to swap Oklahoma State for Houston.
Houston.
Okay.
Is Dion
More likely to go winless.
here? Is he?
More likely to go winless.
No.
UCF, I think, is the most likely,
Most likely to go
winless.
winless.
Easily.
Oh, dude, watching Scott Frost go winless would feed families.
What happens in that? We're getting off track here, but what happens in that scenario? This is the coach who had the greatest season in that program's history. Took them to unprecedented heights they never thought they could reach.
Yep.
And then he comes back, and if they go winless, bro,
They should get relegated. They should be Pac-12 bound.
Send them to the Pac-12.
For real.
that'd be unprecedented. That's never happened before, though.
Yeah.
I don't think so, no.
I mean, I don't think they
The
would
reunion's
actually-
pretty rare in the first place.
Right.
Facts.
Arizona State, best case, they've got undefeated, which I don't think that's very surprising. Worst case, though,
Surprises me.
Yeah, it does too.
for best case,
Yeah. I don't think they're capable of going on.
Yeah, they're not doing that. But
worst case is 7-5.
This team, man, Arizona State was always like my second favorite Pac-12 team. Like I like.
Oh no!
I don't have issues with Arizona State, but I'm starting to get real pissed off about how overrated they are.
Damn, let's go. I love it.
I mean, yeah, bro. You're talking about Sam Levitt is a top 5 quarterback in college football.
91 overall.
It's just not valid.
No.
Just not valid.
I just don't think that that's the way it's going to look. And I think Jordan Tyson's life is going to be a lot harder with everyone not committing to the run so heavily.
Oh yeah.
Baylor, 11-1, best case. I wish I could tell you where the one loss is coming from. Worst case, 5-7. They don't make a bowl.
Oh, that is a wild range.
Dave Aranda gets fired.
Fired, yeah, for sure.
BYU, 11-1 again. This had to be written before
For
the
sure.
Retzlaff situation, I
sure.
think. Because they even in the worst case, it's saying dealing with a legal issue. I mean, dude's not on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Best case, 11-1. Worst case, 8-4 is what they had.
No.
What would y'all update that to now with
Best
Retzlaff out?
case 9-3. Worst case 3-9. No, worst
I'd
case
give him a higher floor.
5-7.
Yeah.
I'd give him a lower ceiling. I would say best case was like 8-4. Worst case is probably like 6-6. They'll get to bowl eligibility, I think, regardless. But I think
you're
it's
right,
a smaller
actually, bro.
range.
Yeah, I think 8 wins.
Yeah,
This
How many one-score games did they win last year?
a lot.
I mean, at least the Oklahoma State game for sure.
Or the Utah game.
Utah game. K-State.
Arizona
they lost to
State.
K-State, right? Or
Didn't-
did they beat K-State? No, they beat them. That's when they had the crazy like pick up the punt return, I think, right?
Yeah. Six
one-score
one-score games, and they won
That's
10.
insane.
A lot of those were Retzlaff magic.
And I don't know if this is how it goes in college football, but usually in the NFL, like teams that like ride the thrill of like coming down to one-score games, and they end up on very much on the right side of it.
Yep.
Next year comes around, and it's a lot of regression.
Well, and coaching plays a role in that. Like Kalani Sitake's a great coach, but that was like the one time it was like some Tebow shit
Yeah.
where he was just good at the end, even if he struggled the whole game.
That's a good way to put it.
I told y'all it wouldn't surprise me at all if they had a Utah type season with what they dealt with Rising last year. It just wouldn't. But I think the coaching I think they have a better infrastructure. But again, if you don't have the guy under center, none of that other stuff matters.
True.
It doesn't. So
That was 4 wins that were by 1 touchdown, and then 2 that were
yeah,
by 1 touchdown.
Okay, they played
4
in
and
6.
2 in 1-score games.
Okay,
Cincinnati, best case 9-3, worst case 5-7. They do have a returning quarterback. Maybe one of the best players in the conference, honestly, is coming back for them, and Dante Corleone.
Oh yeah,
And then their tight end, Rower,
Yeah.
whatever his name is. He impressed me in the game last year against Colorado.
You did.
Even just watching Cincinnati throughout the year, it's like, oh, that's a guy.
He almost got my my vote for first team preseason all conference at tight end. Royer did, but I like that. I think that projection is valid.
Well, who got it?
Didn't
then?
he like stiff arm Travis or something?
Maybe. I can't remember.
I feel like they were like hanging on to that even after they lost.
That would be a Cincinnati thing to do.
A transfer got my vote.
Zach Atkins?
No, he got some consideration though. Zach did.
First team tight end?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know.
When do we get to hear your ballot? Actually, DNVR's ballot.
Either we could do it either tomorrow or Monday.
Okay.
We could do it either tomorrow or Monday.
Next is Colorado. Best case.
Let me guess.
Wait, really quick. Let's also do our media rankings
1 to 16 in the
Yeah.
conference. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm
that
down.
day.
For sure. So let's do that Monday, huh? Plan for that Monday. We'll do the
for-
ballot
before,
and before we
media
go
day.
to
Yeah, that sounds
for
good.
sure.
Best case. We want to guess at all?
Yeah, I'm gonna say best case they probably said 8-4,
Okay.
and worst case they probably said 4-8.
I'm gonna say 9-3, 3-9.
Scotty was closer. Best case 8-4.
That's crazy.
Worst case 5-7 though. That's a
Tight window.
yeah, exactly.
Interesting. I don't know how. I don't think that is even possible for the window to be that tight.
That's a 3-game difference,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I mean,
That's basically what the flip of their record is.
I'd like to hear them explain why they don't believe Colorado has a 10-win ceiling.
yeah, what they say.
So you want the best case blurb?
Yeah.
For the first time under Deion Sanders, Colorado is going to be a normal football team. The Buffaloes' defense will be the star of the show after adding Jaheim Otis from Alabama, and defensive coordinator Robert Livingston elevated that unit tremendously. Quarterbacks Caden Salter and Julian Lewis ensure that the position remains in good hands, especially with receiver Draylon Miller still on campus.
That first sentence was cap because this is never going to be a regular or
look,
normal football team.
The guy who wrote this has been
Yeah, sure.
very
I just
outspoken
don't-
anti-Deion.
So it was 11-1. Who was the team whose their ceiling was 11-1?
We had
Kansas-
two of them. It was Baylor and BYU.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you could say Baylor has an 11-win ceiling and Colorado only has an 8-win ceiling.
They're high off the
Unless
Sawyer
you,
Robertson.
I would have liked to see in there if you're going to try and make that case. Like, I don't like Caden Salter and I think Juju Lewis is too young or whatever.
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
you know, like that just doesn't make sense to me because Colorado has one of the best freshman quarterbacks in the country and one of the best transfer quarterbacks in the country. One of them is going to be the starting quarterback. If either of them click at their highest potential, I don't
Right.
care about the rest of the team.
Right.
If you get the best possible Caden Salter or the best possible Juju Lewis, your ceiling is at least 10.
I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Houston.
I'm going to say best case scenario is 7-5.
Okay.
Worst case scenario is 3-9.
I'm going to say best case scenario is 6-6. Worst case scenario is 0-12.
Best case scenario 9-3.
Oh
They're
my.
fried.
Wait, Houston's best case is better than
fried.
Colorado's best case.
Yeah, they're fried. I'm not even too interested in the rest of this list. I'm like,
Oh, yeah. Show 'em. Where's that red X, bro? Let's close that shit.
I told you who.
That's-
the person who wrote this is a very established anti-Colorado, anti-Deion person. Very established.
Ay.
he must love Connor Wegman then.
He loves Willie Fritz, which what I've been trying to tell you. He's a program builder. Like,
I just can't wait to see. Houston is in my top 4.
Okay.
Houston is in my top 4 of like teams that I just can't wait to see how their season unfolds this year.
I don't think they're going to win 9 games at all, but they will be a better football team than they were last year.
Shit.
Sure.
Yes, obviously.
They were really bad last year.
Yeah, they were god
I
awful
don't
last
think
year.
they were that bad last year, honestly.
Okay, they were average bad last year.
They were one of the 4 worst teams in the Big 12 last year.
The difference between Houston and like
And what?
UCF
Bro,
and
UCF was ranked at one.
yeah, and look at what happened.
Oh,
Like,
I know.
it can happen quick. Like, I don't know. You guys put some respect on Willie Fritz's name. That's all
I don't
I'm saying.
think I don't respect him. I just don't think that they have a 9-win
That's
ceiling.
more directed at Scotty, honestly.
Bro, I don't have a problem with Willie Fritz. It's about his roster. I like Willie Fritz. It's his roster, bro. I don't buy that. I don't think there's enough talent on there to compete in this conference this year.
All right.
Next year, I'll be more optimistic, but
Okay. Worst case 4-8 for them. Iowa State, best case 10-2, worst case 7-5.
bro, Houston lost to UCF the last game of the year.
And
This is such a dumb exercise.
And UCF, I mean, at that point of the year, I'm just saying, like, that's when Houston theoretically would have been like peaking a little bit end of the year, and UCF was clearly on a downfall. And UCF
I
still beat
do
them by
not
2
care.
scores. I'm just saying.
I kind of care. That was a good point.
they didn't even have their head coach they have now. Like players left and stuff. Like
No,
But
no.
Willie Fritz was coaching that team.
yeah,
But
it was his first year
I
with a
digress.
terrible program.
I
God.
digress.
This whole thing is silly. The 10 and 7 was their floor and ceiling.
10-2 Iowa State and 7-5. Yeah.
There's just no. Did we watch the Big 12 last year? I want to know what he thought that Oklahoma State's floor was last year. Because I guarantee you they eclipsed it by at least 4 games.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in the title game last year, correct? And they lost to Arizona State. Iowa State did. Mm-hmm. Got the QB back. Lost a ton of weapons, but I guess that's not my biggest issue, I guess.
But I mean, they lost a lot of weapons. Let's just say like Rocco Beck goes down. Like
Yeah, which
they could easily miss a bowl game.
Don't tell him that, Chris. Don't tell him that. Kansas, best case 10-2, worst case 5-7. 10-2 for a Jalen Daniels led football team it's not even possible.
I'm not as big of a Jalen Daniels hater as you guys.
Can't throw the football, bro.
He could at one point.
one more time.
10-2
Oh my
and
god.
5-7. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
I told you I don't have no more interest in this list. I really don't after that Houston one.
Red X.
we can't just
Well, we
stop
can keep
halfway
going.
through the
No, you're right.
conference. What do you mean?
I'm just saying I don't have interest. We can keep going for sure.
K-State 11-1, worst case 8-4.
What? I hate this. Keep going. Let's get this over with.
Oklahoma State, best case 8-4, worst case 2-10.
Okay.
That's a legitimate window there.
TCU, best case 11-1,
Oh my god, man.
worst case 6-6.
Bro, if they go 11-1, bro, they are like in national championship contention. With that
they're
schedule.
the toughest schedule.
Right, with that schedule?
Of course. Texas Tech, best
Smash
case.
the like button for this lovely article.
Got to be 11-1 for Tech too.
No, bro.
Really?
It's 12-0.
Oh man, this is crazy, dog.
Worst case 8-4.
Wow.
I don't think Texas Tech's ever gone 12-0 in program history.
Probably not.
Their
UCF
defense will be good though. I will say that.
UCF, best case 6-6. You already know it's rough when that's
They should be a 1. They should be a 1-11 worst case.
worst case 2-10. Utah, 11-1.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
Worst case 5-7.
That's a hell of a range right there. Don't make a bowl or shit. Top 8
CFP.
seed in the
Yeah,
playoff.
West Virginia, last team. Best case 8-4.
Oh my god.
Worst case 4-8.
I'd be shocked if they got to 8, but
The fact that the tier that he basically has Colorado in with the best cases is unbelievable to me.
So yeah,
who
he
would
has
have been
them-
that tier? Because
I'm looking.
I think Houston would be a tier above based on this, right?
So yeah, so teams with a
Just the
higher.
highest ceilings.
So Arizona's 7-5, they're below. That's one team you're ahead of. Cincinnati's 9-3, you're not even ahead of them.
Oh my god.
Houston's 9-3, you're
Was
not
anybody
ahead
else
of them.
8-4 besides Colorado for your
West
ceiling?
Virginia.
West Virginia, Kansas is 10-2, you're not ahead of them. Oklahoma State's 8-4.
So you're with
So
Oklahoma
you're at least-
State, West Virginia.
And you're above you're above UCF and Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, UCF
Yeah.
and Arizona.
Yeah.
You're tied with who did I just say?
West Virginia.
Tied with
West Virginia and Oklahoma,
Oklahoma
State.
State.
Yeah.
That's
So
sick.
It
And
means
everyone
that
else
he
is
thinks
above
that
you.
CU has the 4th lowest ceiling in the conference. Mm-hmm. Think about that.
Yep.
Like, you could definitely say that like this team has a high variance team, depending on if a couple things go right.
Yeah.
But you just have to have their ceiling
Yes,
Like
you have to.
I wouldn't have complained if we were in the
If the
lower tier
floor-
of the floor.
Right, I agree.
But you have to believe that Colorado's upper tier ceiling is right there with just about anyone in the conference.
I told you that this guy does not like Colorado.
That's wild, dog. Ooh-wee.
Hit that like button while you're fighting in the comments.
We're fighting.
That's about it. How about, can we stop fighting each other? That also too.
No.
Like, because yesterday we posted that Georgia Tech graphic, right?
Yes.
And we just get bombarded with Georgia Tech hate. We just have a lot of misdirected, like, I don't know, tension and anger right now, and people just fighting with themselves.
It's been too long
Go
since
fight with
football.
Rams and Nebraska fans. Don't fight with each other.
I thought
I'm
it was
sure
funny.
that Rayola post you had yesterday went over well.
Oh, it just got caught on by another mouth breather, so it's hitting them all right now.
Bro, I thought it was funny when we posted our position, breakdown preview for Colorado Georgia Tech on Twitter, and like you mentioned, a lot of people were killing it. A lot of Georgia Tech fans mostly, but like a lot of people had an issue with like us giving the edge to Colorado on quarterback. And my first thought was like, who agrees with us on that? EA College Football 26.
But I knew they
just-
would be pissed about that because I saw a bunch of comments on that, and the number one player they took issue with was Caden Salter.
Oh,
Like
really?
it was Georgia Tech fans being like, "Show me one reason Caden Salter's better than Haynes King."
Mm-hmm.
They about to see a lot of them in like about a month.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So just stop fighting with each other. Just please.
Can we all just get along?
Everybody love everybody.
The Bach with the super chat or the in the Toyota chat with the question says, "Am I tripping or did the alumni support disappear since the retired numbers celebration?"
I think you're tripping. Just honest.
Yes.
The alumni that I talked to, nothing has changed. Even the ones that might have had an issue with that. Mm-hmm. No one's like, I'm out on this or anything crazy like that.
I think we finally managed to move past that issue. The jersey retirement gate.
I haven't thought about it in a long time, me personally.
It's been a while since we had a new controversy. Though.
True. This is what I'm saying, though. It's a lot of misdirected energy right
Yep.
now.
It's true, man.
Demetrius
We need someone to
says-
write a hit piece so we can direct it at them.
Exactly, yes.
Honestly, we just actually went over one. That was a hit piece.
Yeah.
Where's our guy anonymous coach at?
I don't know. Maybe we need an anonymous coach.
Run
saying
that
been
mouth,
MIA.
anonymous coach.
Pause, please. That was one was kind of. That was completely. That pause was completely necessary. That was wild. We can move on now.
The best part is like I would never talk in that way.
No.
Use that like parlance.
Yeah. Oh man.
Demetrius says, "Have the powers that be moved on? Teams going against each other for the spring game. Time to plan now. Buffs versus Orange." I don't think that's the case. I just think there's a lot of focus on the actual season, and we kind of move on to that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
once we hit November, December.
What was the question?
Have we moved on from the joint spring games?
Oh yeah, it's just
Yeah.
That'll be
Until
dope
next
next year,
year.
though, right?
Yes. I mean, they pretty much said that Colorado and Syracuse just filed this too late.
Right.
yeah.
So if you just file it earlier enough, it sounds like you have a much better shot.
Everybody
I'm
gonna
sure
be doing
they're
it
just
next year. I
they're
feel
just
like.
gonna
Totally.
approve it for everyone.
Yeah.
By
Totally,
next
they
year.
should. What's up? Goonsville says he'll be at the bar tonight.
Boonesville
Let's go.
squad.
Let's go. East Coast Kev, what's up, my man? I really thought 5-star Cederian Morgan was going to commit to CU. Best of luck. Just remember, at any college, you'll be just another athlete. At CU, you'll be a star. Next man up.
Facts.
Facts. Appreciate you, Kev.
Well said,
as
Kev.
always.
Cederian also he had a quote today that came out where he was like, I'm trying to play immediately. Like I'm trying to be impactful as a freshman. And obviously he's capable of doing it. But if for some reason he doesn't, that would be a reason to hit that portal.
Facts.
The comments are killing me.
But yeah. Tomorrow will be our final show of the week. We are taking the Friday off for the 4th.
Might have a guest tomorrow.
We might have a guest
Potentially.
tomorrow. Yes.
Tap
go.
in.
But yeah. that it for today?
That's it.
That is it.
Yes, sir, ski.
You ever notice that you talk really quietly at the end of shows?
Because he's sad.
Because
Sad the show's
I don't want it to
He's
end.
like, I guess that's just gonna do it for today.
Yeah. East Coast Kev with the super chat again says, "Easy there, okay. I don't know what's worse." Run that mouth or suck full drop.
Shout out Coach Sapp.
Coach Sapp, I think, takes the number.
Takes
there.
the cake.
Yeah.
Pause.
Was that a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Bro.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a crawfish boil.
Yeah, with sweet potatoes
mean-
in it.
I don't even think they had the Memorial Day barbecue this year, from what I remember.
I don't know.
That's just a crazy 3-word combo. I'm not gonna lie.
Go watch the Coach Sapp interview from Super Bowl if you want to know the context.
Oh man. Make sure you become a diehard if you aren't already, man.
Yes, we have a sale going on right now as well.
Big sale going on right now. It's a perfect time to become a diehard. I just published something on the site, DNVR.com, talking about Colorado's latest targets in the 2026 recruiting class. We'll talk about it. Jake and I will a little bit tomorrow, but yeah, go check it out. Become a diehard.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. See y'all then. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go, Buff.
We all silly like the mayor.